Okay, here's a question. Can a poem, written over 400 years ago, still tap into our deepest fears, our desires about love, about getting older?
It's a great question, and I think the answer is definitely yes, especially when we look at Shakespeare's sonnets.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into them. You might know a line here or there. Shall I compare thee?
Yeah.
Perhaps. But what's really striking is how they tackle these huge, timeless themes. Love, sure, but also beauty, how time just destroys things, and this really unique idea of immortality through poetry itself.
Yeah, it's quite audacious, really.
We're going to start with those early sonnets, the ones people often call the Procreation sonnets. It's this really intense plea to a young man: have kids.
Right. It's fascinating because Shakespeare seems to wrestle with these massive anxieties, about oblivion, about fading away, and he offers two very different solutions.
So we'll unpack that first argument, the one for procreation, which is surprisingly forceful.
Almost demanding, yeah. Then we'll look at that classic conflict, love versus time, the ticking clock.
And finally, this is the big one, the poet's own belief, his total conviction that his writing, his verse, can actually grant everlasting life.
It's a powerful arc.
Okay, so let's jump into those first sonnets. We're talking sonnets I through 7th, roughly. Scholars group them as these procreation sonnets.
Hmm.
And it's less about wooing initially and more this, well, impassioned plea, almost an insistence, directed at a beautiful young man.
Exactly. The speaker's basically saying, look, you need to get married, have a child, so your beauty doesn't just vanish. He wants it to never die.
He's incredibly direct about it, too. Sonnet 2, for instance, it paints this kind of grim picture, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, it's vivid.
Yeah, 40 winters. Sounds pretty bleak.
It does. And he argues that having a child, a fair child of mine, would basically sum my count and make my old excuse. The child becomes living proof of the beauty the young man once had.
He really doesn't hold back, does he? It sounds less like poetry and more like a very persistent Renaissance advisor.
Huh, yeah, or matchmaker.
And Sonnet 4 even scolds the young man, calls him a profitless usurer.
Right, like he's hoarding his beauty, this valuable asset, instead of investing it, passing it on. It's quite a strong accusation.
It really is, and Sonnet 12 just hammers it home. Nothing against time's scythe can make defense save breed. Only having children can beat time. There's this real desperation almost.
It's a compelling argument, isn't it? Taps right into that biological imperative. He even uses that lovely analogy in Sonnet 5.
The flower one.
Yeah, comparing the young man's beauty to a flower. It should be distilled, like making perfume, before winter comes.
So its substance still lives sweet. Preserve the essence, if not the physical form itself.
Precisely. Either literally through a child or through capturing that essence.
But then Shakespeare's whole idea of immortality, it kind of shifts, doesn't it?
It does, dramatically.
After pushing so hard for this, physical legacy and heir, he pivots. He starts arguing that his own poetry, his words, offer a better, maybe even more powerful way to beat time.
It's a really profound turn. And it makes you ask, well, what is more lasting? Flesh and blood or words on a page?
And Sonnet 18, probably the most famous one, captures this perfectly.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Yes.
Right, and he answers his own question by saying, no, you're better, and your eternal summer shall not fade, specifically because you'll live forever in my eternal lines.
It's an absolutely staggering claim for what poetry can do. Just think about that confidence.
And he doesn't stop there. Sonnet 55 goes even further. He says, look, not even marble nor the gilded monuments of princes are going to outlive my powerful rhyme.
Yeah, imagine saying that. My poem will outlast castles and statues. He promises the young man's memory will survive till the judgment that yourself arise. Until the end of time, basically.
Wow. That is incredibly bold for something like, ink on paper, which seems so fragile.
It really is. And Sonnet 60 connects to this too, right? He talks about life being like waves rushing to the shore, always ending.
Time passing relentlessly.
But then he says his verse, his poetry, will stand against time's cruel hand. It's like art versus death.
The direct challenge.
A direct challenge. And it's worth mentioning, while he's putting the fair youth on this pedestal,
Yeah.
Shakespeare's view of love isn't just this one idealized thing. Later on, you get the dark lady sonnets.
Right. Things get more complicated there.
Much more complicated.
Ugh.
More contradictory, tumultuous passion. It shows the whole messy range of human feeling, not just the ideal.
So, wrapping this up a bit, what's the big picture here? We've seen Shakespeare chasing immortality in two ways.
Yeah, first, through the idea of having children, a physical legacy.
And then, maybe more compellingly for him, through the enduring power of his own art, his poetry.
Exactly. He's wrestling with something we all face, right? That fear of getting older, of being forgotten. And he offers these two, well, profound potential answers: family and art.
So these aren't just love poems. Not really. They're deeper meditations on how art can maybe actually defy time, preserve beauty, preserve truth for people who come later.
Absolutely. They make beauty and memory potentially immortal.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How do we try to do that now? How do we try to make something that lasts longer than we do? Is it through our families, our work, our creations?
Or even maybe the digital trails we leave behind these days.
Yeah, exactly. Something for us all to ponder, I suppose.